He who has a why can bear almost any how. And I've been reminded of this quote lately by this entrepreneur, Charlie Morgan, and he brings up this quote a lot, and it's originally from Friedrich Nietzsche, but he always brings up this quote, he who has a why can bear almost any how. And it makes a lot of sense. If your why is great enough, and if your why has a strong enough reason, it will carry you through whatever you need to get done. It will carry you through any how. And so that's where accountability comes into play. When you just do things for yourself, and if your why is just for yourself, then it's easy to manage your own expectations. It's easy to not live up to your expectations. Yes, it's good to have high expectations of yourself and live up to them, but at a certain point, you're going to be able to justify really anything, and your own ego will accept you not living up to your expectations because it doesn't want to feel that pain. However, when you have to live up to other people's expectations and you have to explain to other people why you didn't do a certain thing, or you have to explain to other people why you're failing or why you're not living up to your goals, that's a lot more painful and it's a lot more challenging than if you were to have to explain to your own self and justify to your own ego. So this is where massive accountability comes into play, and having a why that is greater than yourself. And so this is what I've been learning lately, is that accountability is huge, and accountability has been helping me stay committed to the work even when I don't feel like it. Accountability is so big that if you have a good enough why, the question of whether you feel like doing the work or not, or you feel like continuing on the path that you're on, or moving toward a certain goal, the question of whether you feel like doing something or not doesn't even matter anymore. Whether I feel like doing this video or not, it doesn't even matter, because it's part of the process into getting me to my why, if that makes sense. And so what I've been learning is that I'm trying to find a deeper why to why I'm doing this, and it's something that gets me out of bed every morning. I'm trying to find a why that's greater than my own freedom, my own money, and money just for my own ego, if that makes sense. Money that can buy my self-pleasure, money that can buy my own freedom. Freedom is good. Freedom feels good, and it's comfortable, and it's enjoyment. However, when you have this freedom and comfort and enjoyment, it will only take you so far. You're going to get bored of it. And if that's your life, is freedom and comfort and just pleasure, you're just going to get bored of that. And so if that is your why, it will only carry you so far. However, if your why is greater than just your comfort and your freedom and your joy, if your why is for other people, if your why is greater than your own ego, then it's going to carry you. It's going to carry you way further. And so for me, some whys that I'm really trying to dig into is I want to make money for my family, and whether they don't need it or not, that's okay. But I don't necessarily have to support them or be the like support for my whole family. But maybe I can make money for my future family. And if I ever do have like a wife and kids, then I can make money to enough money that will be able to easily support my family. So I'm looking out for my future self. And so that's greater than just me. My future self and my future family, that's different than me. And, say like a business, for example, someone who starts a business, it starts off to make money for their own selfish desires, which is fine. However, the best business owners that I'm seeing right now, they have a why that's greater than them. Their why is to help people. Their why is beyond money at this point. Money just comes in afterwards, but their why is to help a specific type of person, if that makes sense. And so this is massive accountability when you have a why greater than yourself. And so I just wanted to drive that point in, is that if you have a good enough why, then you will be able to bear almost any how. And so today I'm going to talk to you about tactical ways that you can actually give yourself more accountability, and some like things that I've been doing lately that have been almost forcing more accountability in my life and in my journey of entrepreneurship, that is keeping me to the work and helping me bear almost any how. And so I guess the first thing that I want to talk about, that I didn't even plan actually, but relating to what I've been saying about finding your why, the first thing is sitting down and questioning your why. Why do you want to accomplish a certain goal? Why do you want to develop yourself? Why do you want to become more productive? Like, why do you want to change? Is it so you can feel better about yourself? Is it so you can make more money for yourself? Is it for your own freedom? Or is it for other people? Is it so you can be a better version for your family? Is it so that you can change other people's lives? So you can do something greater than yourself. And I'm not saying it's wrong to want to change yourself for yourself, because that's where a lot of people start. However, it will only carry you so far if it's always just for yourself. So sit down and try to find a why that's greater than yourself. Try to find a why that will carry you through those days where you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing it. Well, if your why is great enough, it doesn't matter if you feel like doing it or not, because you have an obligation now to a why that's greater than you. If you're serving other people, you're not just letting yourself down if you miss the work or miss the productivity or whatever it is. You're letting other people down, and that's way more painful and it's harder to justify. So hopefully that's making sense. The most important thing is finding a why that's greater than you. And then some other tactical ways to actually gain more accountability in your life, and more like concrete, I guess, than this abstract stuff I've been talking about. It's to start telling people your goals more often. Start telling people your ambitions, and tell everyone around you who you want to be. Tell people your goals and be an open book about it. Tell your family where you're going to be, tell them how much money you're going to make, all that stuff. And I know you're going to hear people talk about, oh, well, don't talk about your goals, or keep it to yourself, or, but what I've found is that when you're an open book and you can tell anybody your goals, tell everybody, this is who I am now, this is my new self, these are my goals, and these are what I'm working towards, then now it's sort of out in the world. It's outside of you, And so when it's outside of you, people now have this in the back of their minds, or they might at least have it in some part of their minds about what your goals are. And so they have just this tiny perception now of you, of who you are claiming your future self to be, if that makes sense. Or at least what goals you're claiming that you want to achieve. People around you will start to have at least this little bit of a perception of you now, of that version of you now, if that makes sense. And so just that, if the more you put it out into the world and the more you speak about your ambitions and goals, the more you are almost forced to live up to it. Because now, if people know about this, then they have this little bit of a perception of that, you kind of have to live up to that now. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to do this, and then not do it now. But say you kept it in, say you didn't tell anybody. Well, nobody knew about it anyways, so I can just move on to this next goal. See, another way to give yourself accountability is to start using your time to give more often, and develop this mindset of becoming a producer as opposed to being a consumer. And I know this sounds super businessy, or you might have heard this if you've watched business content before. Don't be a consumer, be a producer. But what does this actually mean, and what does it look like? Well, the way that I view it is being a producer is spending your time giving to other people, or spending your time creating something of value. And so for me, the way that I try to do it is creating videos that have some type of value in them. And I'm doing it for a group of people. You can be holistic about this. You can go out to your community and try to give to them, give services to them. Or you can, you can try to start a business if you want to and give your services to other people and charge money for it. But it's a way to spend your time giving as opposed to just aimlessly consuming, which is taking. Consuming is just taking. And so just be aware of how you're spending your time. Say you're creating art, like if you're an artist, or you might do that on the side, and you give it out to the world and you get feedback on it. Well, now people have seen your work and they say, wow, this is good work. So the moment that you get that feedback from people, it will hold you accountable to want to keep on doing that work for them. So just practice giving more until you get that feedback. And once you get that feedback, that's your accountability there. And it doesn't have to be business. It's just some type of creation that you're spending your time on, as opposed to just taking and consuming things that other people created. So that's another thing. And then find accountability groups or groups of like-minded people. So the way that I've done this recently is I'm on School. It's an online platform where like creators go and they bring their like communities of people in there, and you can join like-minded groups of people. If you're an artist, you can join other artists. If you're an entrepreneur, you can join other entrepreneurs. And so these communities are helpful because you can join them, and it's an easy way to find like-minded people. And then in this community, you can share your ambitions, you can share your goals, you can share your problems, and there's people in there who will look at your situation and look at your goals, ambitions, and they will give you feedback, which is good because it will hold you accountable, but they'll also give you some proper guidance unbiasedly because they're in the same position, or they were in the same position, if that makes sense. So like-minded communities are huge, and School is a big one. And later on, I'm going to tell you about my free community with like-minded people that you can join. And yeah, I'll talk about that later. Another one is finding an accountability partner. And the way that I've done this, it just kind of happened for me, was I did start sharing more of my ambitions. I did start making the YouTube videos, authentic content, or at least what I thought was authentic content to my interests and curiosities. And an accountability partner just kind of happened out of that. So what I mean by that is someone reached out to me through my email from my YouTube channel, and he said, hey, I enjoy your content. Maybe do you want to network sometime? And so we've been networking, and now I have an accountability partner. And so if I'm slacking or I'm not doing the work that I claim that I'm supposed to be doing, he'll call me out on it. And so that is giving me accountability because I don't want to explain to him that I'm not doing the work. It's easier to explain to your own ego and explain to yourself why you're not doing the work. But if you have to explain to another person who actually wants to see you grow, then it's another level of accountability. So find an accountability partner. You can do it like I did, just being more transparent and open with people. And it might just show up, an accountability partner might just show up for you. Or you can actively seek out accountability partners by telling your family your goals, telling your family your ambitions. Or you can join these communities through School, or there might be some other online communities that you can join, and actively seek out an accountability partner. And that's huge. And then just a couple other, like 2 minor ones to hold yourself accountable is having a goal. And the goal should relate to your why, to your deeper why. Have a long-term goal that relates to your deeper why, and then have shorter term goals that break up from that longer term goal that are like milestones that will get you to that greater why. And so just having a goal out there on paper or outside of your own self is a way to give you just that little bit of extra accountability. And then lastly, create a schedule for yourself. I know it doesn't sound like it would be the most like needle moving thing for accountability, but just having a schedule out there and having something again that's outside of your own self and your own mind that's concrete, and you say you memorize your schedule, you memorize like your future days in advance, it will just hold you just a little bit more accountability, or it will hold you just a little bit more accountable, if that makes sense. So yeah, create a daily schedule. You can do like, you can write it on a notebook and kind of just take a picture of it and have it on your background screen, or you can use tools like Google Calendar. That's what I've been using lately. I look at my Google Calendar pretty much every day now. Or Notion. That's a pretty good calendar that syncs up with your Google Calendar. And so yeah, so hopefully you got some value out of this. I talked to you about why you should have a why that's greater than your own selfish desires. That's what I'm working on myself. And then some actual tactical ways that you can gain more accountability in your life. So hopefully these ways can help you out and you're able to use some of these. And back to my free school community. If you are interested in joining like-minded people who are looking for accountability and you're looking to gain more control of your time and increase your productivity, check out the link in the description for that. And yeah, thank you for watching.